this, I would actually lose my license.
Sorry, what was that? Literally started recording as you said that. That's not how that works, isn't it?
That's a good way to start this series.
That is a good way to start this series.
Unemployment.
Everyone involved in the production of this series lost their jobs. Not because of this video, it's because they were very racist.
Oh no, we were just really bad at our jobs.
I'm not bad at my job. Neil, you bad at your job?
I mean, what day is it?
Okay.
Only bad on days, only good on why.
Okay,
That's fair.
so you're good in Christmas.
It's not a day, it's more a period.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an occasion. Yeah. You know, it's like the same way that, like, you know, St. Bridget's Day.
I still don't
occasion.
work on those days, yeah, you're correct.
that ends in Y.
I'm just saying, like, you know.
Completely abandoned the premise.
Never mind.
Right.
Right then. So, hello everybody. It's your old friends at Monday Madness, and welcome to, I guess, a spiritual successor of one of our great triumphs on this channel. This is our worst 50 games list. And those who were around in year 4 of the channel, let's just say that, it's an arbitrary number, will recall our top 100 games list, which was a great success. We all lived through it. We all
This
had a
year
good time.
4? How
No,
long have we been doing this?
longer than you think. Yes, Adam, we've been friends longer than you remember.
No.
Neil was here too.
I was drunk for most, but I
You are, yeah, to be fair, like,
Yeah.
I've gone the Father Jack route to get so hammered I don't even remember where I am.
So anyway, 50 worst games list.
50 worst games list. So again, this is the same, basically the similar premise. We've made up a list of the worst games we've ever played, and we're going to list them out for your viewing pleasure. But
Ground rules.
ground rules, yes, let's establish ground rules. So, which ones do we want to start off with?
Well, I went out with my ground rules, which was games that I'd actually played and on the console that I'd owned. So
Yeah, if you play the game for like 2 minutes, that's I consider that to be illegible.
and also, so that's the thing, like, so there's no Xbox only games on my
Yeah.
list. There's no games from mad different types of systems. Plus, I shied away kind of from games that were totally broken, as in I couldn't finish them. I generally tried to figure out. I really actually did. I fully enough did put a good thought into this.
What?
So I went.
Whoa, sorry. That was not one of the ground rules.
That's
So I
breaking the
That's
rules.
breaking the rules already.
Breaking the
Okay,
rules.
sorry. Just to be
So
clear.
I went with games that you can actually get from start to finish.
Yeah.
Um,
Well then.
But if there are games that
Yeah,
were
shit,
kind of
actually,
buggy,
yeah.
but if there are games that are buggy, kind of broken messes, they're included because even if they did fix all the bugs, this would still be a colossal piece of shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
yeah.
that's what I did. So for those reasons, like 2006 Sonic the Hedgehog isn't on my list.
Yeah.
Because people do let's plays of that to showcase how glitchy it is.
Yeah.
Over the road rig racing, that fucking awful.
Over the road rig, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not on here.
Yeah. Big rigs.
Big rigs.
Yes.
That's the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Shit like that, like
Yeah.
games like that.
Games
where-
that we know are bad. They're not
Games that aren't games.
Yeah.
So basically, just no Phoenix games on my list. You know?
Fair, yeah.
And also, I think Tennings has got them copyrighted.
Yeah, to be fair,
You
like
know,
he's taking the bullet.
I think
for
we
us
actually
now,
have to
yeah.
pay him every time we met.
No, I think he has to pay the psychiatrist that he's
Yeah,
hired to help him out there.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, in fairness, now,
All
like, if
proceeds
you
go
haven't
first.
played a Phoenix game, we're not going to put it on the list. That's the thing. We have to have actually played it, experienced it up to a certain point that we've formed an opinion.
Yeah, we don't need to have finished it. As again, these are
Yes.
some of the worst games we've played. So.
Yeah. Because some of them are broken, some of them are unplayable. So, like, it's not possible that we've finished them.
One of my bonus rule from the last video has actually been applied site-wide now.
Yes, so this is what I'm kind of coining as the Sierra rule. Basically, you're only picking one game per series.
Yeah.
And again, it's a save, basically, myself and Neil just picking every game we played on the Sierra Quest series, which you should watch, by the way, because it's very good fun.
I'll get to it.
Yeah, no, but that's saying, but the likes of a spiritual successor or a new continuity, they'd be fair game.
Yeah,
because they are technically different games, different developers, whatever, what have you.
Or games with the same kind of
Concept.
in the same IP, but which aren't series.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I have 2 Walking Dead games on these.
That's fair.
Now they're both the same Walking Dead series, but
They're made by different developers.
yeah, they're made by different developers
Yeah.
and they're not sequels.
Yeah, that's grand. It'd be the same way, like, say, if you pick 2 Alone in the Dark games, because there's been so many Alone in the Dark.
And none of them
Re-
have been sequels.
And none of them are sequels,
none of them
yeah.
are sequels.
You have the original 3, then you got the fucking abortion that Atari had, and you had everything else, you know? So you had all these other rules. So that's an example of the Sierra rule. And the other ground rule, well, it's not really a ground rule, it's our gimmick for this series, because normally we kind of pad this stuff out and going, what got you into games? No, we're skipping that shit altogether.
What got you out of games?
What got you out of games? Yeah, exactly. What got you out of games and onto YouTube? And how can you live with yourself? So, this is what we're calling our Game Zero. So, interspaced during the series, we are going to be sharing a game that we hate so much that we are not actually listing on this series, but we are locking away in a sort of quarantine / purgatory, a room 101, if you will.
It's something that we don't consider to be a game, so how could it have made this list?
Exactly. Something we hate so much that we don't want to speak of it ever again. Once it gets mentioned on this list, it is off the channel. It will never be mentioned, never be played, never to be talked about again. And again, if by accident somebody does mention it, we will deny its existence outright.
Yes.
So that's how bad these games are. And it's not just us that's going to be joining in our Game Zeros either. The three of us have Game Zeros, and we'll be interspacing them throughout the series. But we've asked our good friends in the Monday Madness group to share their Game Zeros as well. So you'll be hearing from them throughout the series.
And if you'd like to play along, please leave your Game Zero in the comments below and we'll tell you why you're wrong.
And if we approve, we will lock your Game Zero away with ours.
Because as therapists always say, trauma shared is trauma doubled.
We have bad therapists.
Yeah, I think you could do with a new...
Gotta stop going to that dog.
I think you need a new therapist now, to be honest. So I suppose like to wrap up the intro, I suppose like when you guys were making the list, and again I know we've all had kind of different prep time for this as well, because some, God love them, were slapdash into this last night, and some of us have been...
I had,
you did well.
I had ample prep time, I just didn't use it.
You didn't write it down, that's the thing.
Ample prep time, I didn't use it.
So, the kind of question I'm asking is because one thing I ran into when I was making the top 50, or bottom 50 I suppose, list was that I was trying to find a good indicator for what actually makes it a bad game to me. Because it's very easy to list the worst games, like, mechanically we've made. But what I've learned is when I was making the list, like, some of the games in here are perfectly functional. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just that I have a personal distaste of them.
This is our disclaimer. Any games that appear on this list may not actually be bad games.
Yes.
These are our personal games that we, for whatever reason, objectively and subjectively don't like.
Yeah. So like my metric has been like, so it's a game I cannot deny is like mechanically bad or theoretically bad, whatever else, or something in the game has basically turned it sour for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I know certainly from my top 10 there's a healthy mix of games that have betrayed me on a personal and emotional level. Also games that I know are bad because they're bad.
That's not spoiler.
Exactly. But that's it. I think everyone's kind of has like a different metric for how we put this list together. I'm sure Neil has, you know, being the substantially older of the three, has played games that were even games. He probably has an Abacus on his list, you know?
I'm expecting Pong to show up here because that game cheats.
Yeah, your spine speaks volumes, Neil, to be honest.
And just to be awkward again, as I am Adam, I've implemented my own rule.
Yeah.
Every game I put on my list, I have to say one nice thing about them.
Oh, you see, you love making.
I love making life difficult.
You
for
do,
myself.
Yeah. Again, to be honest with you, I kind of do that myself just by rambling about the game, so it kind of checks out. So, in that case, seeing that you've set up Outbreak, would you like to start off this series outright with your number 50?
Okay, I'll start my number 50. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so my first game on my list is actually part of one of my favourite series. So you notice this from like maybe 50 down to, we'll be generous to say 35. I'm kind of justifying to myself why these are on the bad games list for me.
Yeah.
Because some of them are actually decent games, okay? So in this game, okay, you see yourself playing as a half-human or humanoid character. You can be male or female from the start. Okay, you have two options.
Pokemon Blue?
So you carry like a ridiculously oversized sword.
Okay.
It's a Japanese game. Okay.
He's really teasing it out here, isn't he?
You can use ranged weapons or swords depending on what you like. You face off against a variety of hellish and corrupted beings. The most prominent ones being armored knights.
Is this a Devil May Cry?
Well, the series starts with a D, ends with a 2, and I am of course referring to Dark Souls 2.
Oh, right. We're off at the races, lads. Holy fuck. Okay.
So, where do I start with Dark Souls 2? Okay, it's not a bad game. In a vacuum, it's actually a brilliant game.
I love these sounds of he's in denial.
It's not a bad game.
It's not a bad game. I just need more Soulsborne.
The first line of my worst games list.
It's not a bad game. It's the end.
It's a brilliant game. You've hit the nail on the head there, Jonathan. If it wasn't in the Soulsborne series, it would be, in a vacuum, it would be a great game.
See, this is what happens to you because you play a lot of those titles, so you've
All
almost
of those titles.
yeah, you have an almost like inherent league table for what a Soulsborne game should be
Yeah.
by
Well,
principle.
the way it hit me in my head was, this was clearly made by a V team. And it wasn't made with the same passion as 1, 3, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and
Yeah.
Elden Ring. Because it's not the kind of game that a game developer would want to play. It feels more video gamey.
Okay.
Feels more by committee. So they've made one stat for your dodging, your adaptability,
Okay.
is now a levelable stat. So how well you can dodge with the dodge mechanic in the game, you now are bad at it because your iframes your hitbox actually extends out further than your character model
Okay.
at the start,
Yeah.
which is really fucking clunky and bad. Like the developers seem to take. Now I'm just going to be rehashing points from anyone that's heard Dark Souls 2 reviews before. Like certain enemies in the first game, you could beat them by easily backstabbing them,
Yeah.
which is a hitbox. So to counter that, enemies have a magnet on their sword that when you get behind them, they instantly turn around and hit you.
So they've rubber banded it, basically.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's really, really fucking bad because like you're trying to do these really difficult tricks.
Yeah.
And like backstabbing enemies is a skill that you develop in the first game.
Yeah.
And then it just fucking takes it away from you.
It basically throws a baby out with the backwater.
Well, that's gameplay.
Yeah.
To start with. So some good things with gameplay: the dual stancing. That there's actually a wide variety of weapons. The leveling system, for all my complaints in it, it's still a fucking Dark Souls game. It's still good.
Yeah.
Story in it's phenomenal. Like I love the whole Shanalot, the First Sin, lore of the bosses. It's kind of like, again, as I say, video gamey, but it works well. Get to the real weakness of this game is just the environment design. So Dark Souls 1 had a beautifully interconnected world. Didn't tell you all of the stories of it. You had to piece that together yourself. We're still piecing it together with later games. Like Elden Ring gave a lore drop for Dark Souls 1, which is fucking phenomenal. But Dark Souls 2, God love it, it's such a fucking video game. You go through the defiled Poison Valley, up an elevator at the back of a castle, and you're at the top of a mountain volcano that you couldn't see behind the castle.
Yeah, so this is what I was going to say. Like, again, I'm not someone who has played Dark Souls before. I played a bit of Dark Souls, to be fair. And that's for tech testing purposes only. But what is always evident to me, even watching you play it and other people play it, is that it doesn't treat itself as a video game. It treats itself as an actual living world.
It's like a story. Well, the original Dark Souls, Demon Souls, was based on like the creator. He would read English books, English fairy tales, and because he couldn't read them, he couldn't piece all the story together. So he started filling in the blanks himself, and he thought that made a better game.
I didn't know that. That explains so much now. Okay, interesting. So with 2 then, it actually, like, it's literally designed like a video game. It was like, it's clearly a cave behind that waterfall or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's some late game looting or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So again, the main issue I have with this is that it runs the cardinal sin of breaking immersion through clunky choices.
Yeah.
You feel like you're playing a video game in this game, whereas in every other one, you feel like you're a character that's been thrust into a new world to explore. A very hostile world that's fucking you can get good in, but this game it completely takes you out of that.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Alright, good stuff.
So that's my number 50.
Right, and we're away in a hack then. So, I'll continue on then with my number 50, because we're in alphabetical order, and that's just the way it is. You're gonna have to live with it. So I think, and I will do the maths here. I think this is my only Sega CD entry on my list. Again, I will correct myself if I'm wrong. But so to kind of give explain, like this channel was starting off, there was some various different paths we could have gone down. We could have been a very serious gaming channel. We could have been. We didn't. We ended up being funny instead. But I went on a kind of a crash course of bad games, of games that I feel like would be good content for us. And these are a couple of ones. A couple of these ones I tried out and kind of basically failed the QC, if you like, will appear on this list ever more. This is one of them. This is Dracula Unleashed. So Neil, you're a Sega head.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a Sega CD?
I did have a Sega CD, yes.
Did you ever come across that Dracula Unleashed on your travels?
No, I didn't.
It would have been made by the same people that did the Sherlock Holmes games.
That says all I need to know about this game.
Yeah. So I went on an FMV buzz during this kind of like this vetting process for the channel. If you
I
like.
did have quite a number of the FMV games.
Yeah, and this will not be the only FMV game on my list. As much as I love it.
This is your number 50, so this is the best of the worst.
Best of the worst.
It's all downhill from here.
But you know, the reason why it is number 50 is that it is inherently harmless. Like, there isn't nothing particularly bad about it. It is just, it's a product of its time. It's like in the same kind of category as, say, Night Trap or any of those other FMV games where the acting is bad because they didn't actually hire actors. They hired people, you know, and gave them no direction, barely produced them, all that sort of stuff. Gameplay wise, it's a basic component click interface, but of course it's on the Sega, so it's all like really clunky and so forth. There's no action scenes or anything like that. You basically have to maneuver London basically by taxi from place to place, and it's all contextualized. So
like, do you have a map to select your locations, or is
pretty much, yeah, and it's all context based. So it'd be something where, say, you know, cutscene happens here, you obtain an item, you get a diary entry, and you move on to the next bit. And it's all fully voice acted. It's all like any kind of important scenes are acted out by real people, and it's all based on the actual Dracula, you know, story. So the like kind of main characters from that story, like the likes of Alexander Morris and Jonathan Harkin, they're all in it. They're all acted by people, and shock horror, Dracula's revealed in the end. The two really kind of takeaways.
quite literally shock horror.
Dracula's revealed. You know. Like people are like, you know,
he was found dead with 2 puncture wounds in his neck and devoid of blood. We're working on the suspicion that we're dealing with a mummy.
Or just someone that's really kinky. But not in Victorian London, surely not.
Jack the Ripper?
Jack the Ripper, yeah. But so yeah, it's all based in London, it's all based in that kind of area and that sort of era, shall we say. So you're going from place to place by carriage ride. And again, one of the main takeaways from the game is how hilarious the voice acting is just for the carriage ride. It was like, "Oi, governor, where would you like to go to next?" Like, by the fucking marketing manager, you know, kind of way. So like the accents are atrocious, the acting isn't as good, and the set design is terrible because, like, it's a Sega CD. It is kind of like the you know, like the window thing where like it's so small. But say if they just gave you 2 extra inches on each side, you would see the cameras.
I like how you're not starting your game list off by defending it.
No, it's you know what? Like I said, it is one where it's like, okay, this is my baseline. This is where I think it is objectively bad. I still kind of like, oh, you try it, you know. And the funniest thing about it is that it only has one piece of music in it, because obviously it's only all they have space in it. Oh Fortuna. Oh Fortuna is the opening theme. It is the reveal of there's a vampire in town. It's the werewolf music. It's also, oh, Dracula has been revealed. It's the final battle music, and it's the end credits music. All of it is O Fortuna. And hilariously enough, at the end, it loops, like it ends O Fortuna with the and then end credits. Just like someone just rolled back the tape and started again.
The only way that could be better is if like you ended the cutscene early and cut off halfway.
Yes, exactly. But it does that sometimes. It only just cuts. It's like, oh, no, scene done. That's it. Move on. And every cutscene is punctuated with a diary entry. So, like, Alexander Morris, who's the main character, who hilariously enough, the guy actor looks exactly like Robert Duncan McNeil to the point I'm convinced it's him. And it's just been uncredited.
Have you looked this up?
I have checked. It's not him. But like, he punctuates every cutscene you've just seen with a diary entry, as if you're a fucking idiot.
That's how the book Dracula goes.
Oh no, that's what I mean. But they felt obliged to do it, even though you just had a cutscene. You know what I mean? And it's like, even at the end, it was like, okay, we have to hurry. Diary entry like 2 sentences. It's like, okay, Brad, let's go, let's move. And that was the main issue.
When you're hunting a vampire, your diary entries are going to be concise.
Yeah, it's like, vampire.
Vampire attacked. Only had a moment to jot this down. We'll write later.
Yeah, pretty much. and at least it was true to this book in that sense. So yeah, that's Dracula Unleashed. Not quite Unleashed, but you get the idea.
Ah, very good.
Hey, Neil, continue.
Right. Yeah, taking it, even though I didn't like the age jibe at the beginning of this, I'm
why he's been silent.
for what's one of the oldest games in here. I'm only actually bringing this up because it's being re-released unbelievably by Limited Run Games, which is kind of like a sort of case study in why they're a really bad company and really shouldn't exist. Because they're re-releasing a game that killed off the system that it was put onto, and this is Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Oh my god! I didn't know you. Oh, please tell me you didn't play this.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no.
Oh,
I had a 3DO.
You don't deserve that.
So yeah, I was pretty much responsible for killing off the 3DO. it was just weird. It was such a terrible game.
Yeah.
It's a game, basically a horribly shit narrative presented in stills, despite the fact they released it on the 3DO, a game system designed specifically to do video. So I decided, let's just do still images everywhere. It's all just the director's mates. Half the scenes don't really come across as like what they're doing. It's
just softcore pornography.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's not even proper softcore porn, to be honest with you.
It tried to be softcore, but it can't be softcore with stills.
It's
like,
nothing sexy. It's barely a game.
Porn.
All the whole choices matter thing doesn't really do anything, because if you pick the wrong choice, you only get one choice. It's binary all the way.
Yeah.
And if you pick the wrong choice, you get slagged off, and then they go back and make you redo it.
Oh.
So yeah. Shit, I'm funny enough, with Adam saying, I have to say one redeeming feature about this game. There is none.
Yeah, in fairness.
It's a game with truly no redeeming features. It's lazy in every single sense of the word.
It's not even a space issue either, because it's on video. Like, there's plenty of compared to floppy disks and stuff.
But the effort to record a video versus take a load of Polaroids.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
It's like the writing's obviously horrendously terrible. It's deeply offensive in quite a lot of parts.
Unnecessarily so.
Oh, absolutely! Like there's the horrible pervy character that he's clearly being set up as the villain. But in like the golden ending, or if you can indeed be called that, he somehow for some reason goes gay.
Because apparently that's the good ending.
That's the good ending.
That's the reason why he was a perv, was to hide his homosexuality.
The good ending has you go like right off on a motorbike into the sunset with a woman. But the thing is, she doesn't really trust you. She doesn't even think you're a plumber.
I mean, she
what things? Just show her your certificate.
I mean, to be fair, she is.
Plumbers don't wear ties.
Plumbers don't wear ties.
And,
I mean, surely you must have some diploma from a college or accreditation.
A trade cert, just something like that. And also, like, her dad doesn't fucking like you. Her
dad doesn't like.
That's the biggest hit of all.
That's the golden ending. It's one of those games. It's really one of those.
On the bad ending, the dad does like you, and you overcharge him for selling his thing.
He doesn't dislike you. He just nods.
Play it more than once. Fuck that.
This
is not a game I'm going for multiple endings. Again, this is being re-released for actual there's an ironic aspect of it, is because it is one of those games where you know it's bad. Therefore, you need to play it to experience it. And here's how nonsensical the reason for re-releasing this game is that Limited Run, actually, they have a blurb on their website explaining why they picked this particular game. No other game has this. And they've released some absolute shit. But this is the one game where they have an explainer. Here is why we are doing this. I was like, what? If you have to explain why... Don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, if people are going, lads, the fuck. It's terrible.
Okay, I know what you're thinking.
But yes, so I started off with that.
I'm very curious to see where both of your lists go now. You're like scraping the barrel. Did you dig underground after this?
Oh, it goes downhill from here.
It does.
The thing about Plumbers Their Ties is that it's quite amateurish, but it was a full release. And as I said before, it's only on the list because it's being re-fucking released.
Yeah, you're actually more annoyed.
Across all formats. You can get this on PS, Xbox, and Switch. Why on earth you would do this?
As I was about to say, it's like, I think you're more annoyed at the fact that it's coming back in fucking hog form.
Somebody is so you're resurrecting this corpse.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why? Why? This was terrible. This wasn't even so bad it's good. It's not a good game. And it's not so bad. It's just... It's so not bad, entertainingly bad to play. It's just on what? Like, this is why. Why
are we programmed to feel pain?
Why? Exactly, yeah. You know, you play this and you're like, I really hope medical science can cure me.
Why am I still here? There's an off button on this console.
There's an off button in life as well. Bang!
So,
we here at Monday Madness do not condone suicide, but we do find it funny.
Yeah, to be fair. I was going to say we have a trip available to Switzerland as a competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Jesus, that's dark.
You're off.
And fucking knock it down. Yeah.
You're off the fucking Dignitas.
My fucking list is off the Dignitas.
Yeah. Well, in any case, that's my one. It's a console killer and a creator killer, I think, as well. I think the studio shut down.
I can't imagine they made more.
I've got other games that were total creator killers as well on this.
Very good.
Okay.
Right. So with that, that's our baseline.
Yeah.
That's our baseline established. And again,
Is the next one mine now?
No, this is gonna be Adam's
No,
next.
we're just
That's what he's.
doing it.
That's what he's slightly.
It's not like you.
We're gonna rotate. We're
doing the rotation.
rotation. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, in that case, then Adam, you're gonna continue until Sando with 49.
Get a beer.
I think you guys are going to be mad at me for this one because, again, this is a pretty good game.
If it's a game you didn't like, then it deserves to be on.
Don't worry, Adam. We know you've got your reasons.
Okay, I'm just going to come out and say it's Spyro the Dragon, Year of the Dragon.
Is this the remake? The shit remake?
Well, either or. 3
Yeah.
or the remake.
Year
And
of the Dragon. Okay,
the reason why
interesting.
this is on my list is purely because 1 and 2 were phenomenal games.
I think I know where you're going with this.
I really fucking love them. And this game here just did not catch my attention the same way.
Oh, it's only number 3, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it bored the fuck out of me. It forced you to do additional characters with
Yeah.
these really fucking gimmicky mechanics that were so shit.
That's this. I knew this is where he was going with.
Sorry, I think it's quite bad.
It's just really, really bad. And like, okay, same team, same graphics, excellent music, fun characters, few too many cartoony characters. Like they had the right balance in 2 with the new characters brought in. Bianca, the fucking evil queen, really pissed me off. Sheila, okay, as a gimmick character, grand. Fucking Sergeant Bombard or
Sergeant
whatever,
Bird.
yeah,
Sergeant Bird.
fucking pissed me off to no end. And you can't skip dialogue.
No.
Also, like, all of the missions in it, like, every Spyro game has some tedious missions.
Yes.
There's some grind.
This one was mostly grind.
Yeah. It wasn't that. Is it my issue with Spyro again? Like I kind of jogging back in your point here as well. Is that like with Spyro? I think Spyro Ripto's Rage was so good at what it did. It's like Crash Bandicoot in the sense where like it had this like one game had the sweet spot of like here's the exact amount of gimmick, the exact amount of gameplay, and it didn't feel stale. Whereas with Spyro 3, you went, oh, we probably tapped all that out now with Ripto's Rage because we basically were low with Ripto's Rage with everything we could do with Spyro. So we have to feel obliged to try new gameplay on the same game.
One is a fucking phenomenal game, like out of the park.
Yeah.
2 perfected the format.
Yes.
3 stuffed so much shit into it that it just.
And what's worse is
takes
that
away.
I wouldn't have minded the extra characters if it just didn't kill the pace of the game. Like Spyro is fast, he's aggressive, and all this sort of stuff, and that makes the gameplay so smooth.
Yeah, the
It's
games
smooth gameplay.
They're long games, but they progress at a fair amount.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, see, Spyro, I don't think Spyro is
Sheila
that long.
having height. Spyro has height.
Yeah.
And he has speed.
Well,
Sheila, you have to do a double jump. Oh, she just clipped the edge of that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
every-
try it over here. There's a slight incline. Okay, yeah, we got the double jump there, but we just about fell off that because you're not actually meant to get up this way.
Yeah, but every character is slower though. Like Sheila's slower.
The
Sergeant
fucking,
Bird.
what's the Yeti's name even?
Just Yeti. It's just Yeti, I think it is.
They didn't even give him a fucking name.
I know, let's call him Brian then, for instance.
So shit. And
Yeah.
Spyro gets power-ups throughout.
Yeah.
These guys here just have the ability to do the
Something,
things Spyro can do better.
Yeah. I don't even, can you even play as Hunter? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
There's another unlockable character I can't remember offhand. But like again, they're all shit.
Yeah.
They're all just, they don't add anything to the game.
And they don't have like the 2 best characters from 2 in it. Like the professor is a fucking phenomenal
Oh
character.
yeah, of course, I forgot that. Yeah. Yep. No, I you thought I was gonna hate you. No, I actually really enjoyed that.
No,
Yeah.
well, look, again, it's a good game. I played it. I 100%ed it.
You can't compare this game though with Ripto's Rage. That's the thing. If you put the two together, you go, oh bollocks.
And again, a lot of up here in my list is going to be games in this series that didn't compare.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
I've got a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I just have them higher up my list.
How are they worse than Dracula's?
Because Dracula is like, because I went to that game.
Because I think Dracula's the best game on this list, Adam.
No, it's not that. It's because I just realized with Dracula, like you're going in with low expectations anyway.
Oh,
It's different when you're going in with a
so
certain
it
expectation.
didn't betray you.
It didn't betray me. That's the difference.
Okay,
That's the difference.
okay.
And also, like, there's a certain like degree of cringing as well. Was like, at least with Dracula, there's an entertainment quality to it. Whereas anything, well, as it were, below that, is going to be okay. This is actually worse.
There were so many games I played that specifically aren't on my list because I was like, this is actually fun. It was terrible, but it was kind of fun.
Yeah,
It
exactly, yeah,
specifically
yeah.
didn't make it onto this list.
Oh, no, I was the opposite. This game was fun, but it could have done better.
Yeah. Well, see, I also have like fun and shit games
And
as
we
well.
know
so-
we could have done better because they did. Twice.
Twice, with less of a budget and half the angst.
Exactly,
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, that leads us into Jonathan, I think.
Yes. So I'm not proud to say that I had a flash era of my gaming career, as it were, where I went. where I decided, you know what, let's abandon all concepts of
Flash era games. Jesus Christ.
where abandon all concepts of quality and go for the cheapest games possible. Whereas some people were playing like really good games on the N64 and the PS1. No, I went the Newgrounds and I'd hope for the best. Which explains so much about my gaming taste. But I had some good Flash games that made the top 100 list, and I have some bad games that's made this list. And one of them is called Sift Heads.
Never heard of it.
Right, Sift Heads is it's such a dumb name. It's one of those ones where like you think it's really cool when you're 10.
Is this
Or
one of
11
those
or
hostage
whatever.
negotiator simulators? Because those are terrible.
Oh, that features later, darling. That features later.
Please be joking.
No, I am not. Sift Heads is the best way to describe it is basically the Fast and the Furious franchise done through stick animation with
Vin Diesel as a stick figure?
no, nothing like that.
With
No.
a giant chain hanging off.
It's more see the music is
Just goes around with his family.
yeah exactly yeah. No, it's taking the kind of the kind of notes of like the as I said the soundtrack and the kind of like the car fascination is thrown in there. Where like the best rendered things in the game are the cars for whatever reason. It's probably because the guy who developed it. I don't know what he's doing now. Maybe he's actually turned professional. I don't know. But
Unlikely.
You never know. Everyone has a start. But like he seemed to like really hard in on the actual car rendering. So every fucking Plymouth Cuda and fucking like Mustang looks beautiful. And then the stick figures are left as is, as a kind of like stylistic choice. But like again, it's stick figure, so like it's a stick figure with like a beautifully rendered Glock just over the hand. I find that hilarious. I honestly do. I find it funny. But it's on the list because the gameplay isn't that good, unfortunately.
Okay.
Even though like the actual again it's limited and I'm not expecting anything from playing a Flash game, it still somehow disappoints. In that like say all the driving set there's car chases in the game, let's say. But they're
In the stick
quick
figure game.
they're quick time events.
Ah.
And the timing's off. So you have to actually, so you have to almost actually hit it like anticipate what direction you're going first and then hit it. And then sometimes like
in real racing.
like in real racing, of course, yeah. I mean clearly it's such a hard concept to get across. But no, and then the shooting sections, and again it does like kind of like that conceit to a certain like especially these kind of games where it makes it harder by making the target smaller. Or like so like there's one in particular where like you have to assassinate a guy on a golf course and they're all stick figures. So you get a picture of a guy and it's like, oh, it's a stick figure with a grey quiff. So like he comes across on a sand dune course and there's a golf caddy, he's in the back of it and it's like, yeah, but
Quick question. Have you ever seen any of the Fast and Furious movies? Because this sounds like none of them.
no, it leans into the Fast and Furious stuff later on. I just use that.
Nobody
Like,
gets whacked at a golf cart.
yeah, like
Yeah,
bear in
Jonathan.
mind there is like 8-9 of these games.
Oh,
And
that's almost as many as in the Fast and Furious cinematic universe.
yeah, oh I know, but like it kept predating it. It was like, holy fuck, slow the fuck down, catch up, let Dwayne The Rock Johnson have the fun first, you know.
FNFCU, yeah.
What's your favourite one in the extended universe for Fast and the Furious?
Well, Hobbs and Shaw has to make the list, sure.
Tokyo Drift, man. It comes right at the end of the series.
To be fair,
Because the
Tokyo
one
Drift-
character they killed and it was like, shit, he's really popular. We have to figure out a way to keep bringing him back.
Hey, don't disagree hand like that now, come on. To be fair, Tokyo Drift is a bomb. But no,
Fantastic movie.
it is.
Let's talk about that instead.
Yeah, we should actually make it work. We'll make our best movies list at some stage. But yeah, so that was Sift Heads. It is still just it is a game of its time and of its audience. It's the best way to describe it. Neil, we leave it to you then. Number 49.
No, I brought it forward to the PS2 era, baby.
Oh, shit, son.
Impossible. There were no bad games on PS2.
Oh, history has got the receipt for that.
The fact
particular fucking
fat controller laughed. You were wrong.
No, not a chance, baby. I've gone for the first ever wrestling game released on the PS2, which was SmackDown Just Bring It.
Oh my god! One of the few games on this list I will have played.
Yes, and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I am okay. Indulge me.
I did want to try and put a WWE on just
To piss off Jonathan?
No, not to piss it off, because this game is fucking atrocious. It's awful. Awful. It's the game, it was the one where they replaced the season mode with story mode. which was just a really, really, really stupid idea. Also, the game is so badly put together as well, you can complete it in like 3 matches.
It's pretty much the story mode is just like Road to WrestleMania. They don't even put any more effort into it.
Yeah, no, it's literally like, and putting in no effort is the fucking hallmark here.
I want to hear Jonathan's defense of this. Is it actually got really tight game mechanics when you play one versus two?
It actually, you see, here's the thing. You see, Just Bring It to me is so inoffensive as a wrestling game compared to what's out there now. Is that
I mean,
trying to
wrestling.
Compared to the other games that were released at the time.
No, I'm genuinely trying. While you're talking, I'm trying
compared to the games in the PS1.
Yeah.
I'm trying to form an opinion on it just by trying to remember. It's like I actually don't remember anything from Just Bring It. It was just that bland.
It's a glowing fucking review.
I agree. Absolutely.
You are one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. No, I played Just Bring It. I'm just trying to remember what's the best and worst thing about it, and I can't get either.
It's more like each of the commenters only have like they clearly only recorded like 3 lines.
Yeah, that was a carryover from the SmackDown game.
3 lines of commentary for each of them, and they loop endlessly. Yeah. It's terrible. Basically, it's a SmackDown game where the designers hadn't a notion of what the fuck they were doing. All the polygons, none of the wrestlers look like their actual counterparts. All of the moves are fucking garbage. The controls are so off, like it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was awful.
The way I describe Just Bring It is that it was a kind of a glorified tech demo for a PS2 wrestling game. And they released it anyway for the crack.
Yeah.
Because basically...
Or maybe because they were on crack.
Well, put it this way. When you see how Shut Your Mouth comes out, and they've... basically, they got all the feedback from Just Bring It. And again, Just Bring It was for the time, and for what it was solid enough as a wrestling game. The problem is, though, you put it... No, again, hear me out here. You compare it to SmackDown 2... on the PS1.
Anything else around
it was one of the most solid wrestling games. It was one of the most mediocre clean toilets in France. They're still all shit.
They're still all shit. No, I'll accept that. I don't think there was anything in head. Okay, I'm gonna follow me on this one. It wasn't anything massively wrong with Just Bring It. However, you compare it with what else was around, like WF No Mercy on N64 and SmackDown 2 Know Your Role on PS1, it pales in comparison to either. Like you, given the choice between the PS2 or PS1 for a wrestling game, or the GameCube, or the Game Boy games even were good.
Yeah,
as shocking as it sounds, they were good wrestling games too. Just Bring It it was great for one day, and that's it. No. It's like one of those games where if you rented it for the day, you got the gameplay, and that was it. There's nothing else in it.
That's again. There's literally no redeeming features about Just Bring It. It was 10 steps behind games that had been released years prior to it. It looked worse than a lot of them.
Yep, and Fred Durst was in it.
Yeah, Fred Durst was in it.
Just about to ask, is that the Fred Durst?
That's the Fred Durst one. Fred Durst appears in that, and I don't think he's in Shut Your Mouth, but in Just Bring It, there's a mode called the Slobber Knocker mode, which is basically a gauntlet match.
Yeah.
And in order to unlock it, you have to defeat 20 wrestlers with The Undertaker. Yeah. And you get Fred Durst, and he has his own entrance. And that's genuinely...
And he has no wrestlers to back him up.
The Undertaker.
No one comes in to back him up because he's the only character that doesn't have...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm with you now.
Which I didn't realise when I was playing in all those fucking matches. Like, why do these guys keep getting help and I'm alone? Why won't anyone help me? But Fred Durst, I should be the most popular person here.
But hilariously, the reason he's not in the game is because he needed to use Limp Bizkit for some of the music.
Yeah,
because
so it was made him a character.
It was The Undertaker's theme. He was using Roland, and it was a theme for WrestleMania 17.
It was American Badass era, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, so they didn't want to use Kid Rock because he's a wanker, and Limp Bizkit was the
Limp Bizkit. Yeah,
Limp Bizkit. But he said basically, no, instead of paying me royalties, he said put me in the game instead, and that was the deal. I was like, that's
so they put him in a place where no one would ever see him.
Yeah. Oh no! This was the
in
height.
The worst game.
But this was the height. This was the height of the Game magazine as well. Yeah. So there was a section on how do you unlock Fred Durst, and this is the first time everyone's hearing it. Oh, you unlock Fred Durst, and this was seen as a positive.
Yeah. which one do you unlock the X-Men and Spider-Man? That's a different one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a different. That's been a Spider-Man in a wrestling game.
Yeah. Or am I thinking about Tony Hawk's game?
The Tony Hawk's game, I think it is.
Yeah, you also unlock Jesus in that.
Exactly, yeah. Now, again, there's the things like in the creative mode, wrestler mode, you have they can unlock certain wrestlers that didn't make the cut or weren't allowed in. So, say the template face and the template moves are like Jeff Hardy, or something like that. But they sneak in other people like that in the end, But yeah, so yeah, fair enough. Number 48 is.
Was that Neil's go or yours?
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah. Okay. Funny enough, you're mentioning games that are re-released because I think this game has had the most re-releases of every game ever. Simple enough, Skyrim.
Yeah.
It's recently re-released on, I believe, the Smart Fridge.
With improved water textures.
with a fishing mini game that you can get a rare amulet that you can only get through fishing.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I haven't played it since the fucking Dawnguard DLC released.
Yeah.
Because that was enough for me.
Yeah, I played through Skyrim and I was just like, this is thoroughly underwhelming. Like I never got the hype. No,
you're coming off the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Yeah, you're coming off
which
Oblivion.
is phenomenal. Like characters, discussions, acting. The character acting in Oblivion, I know it's a meme how bad it is, but the characters actually had like emotions and they delivered things.
It has Patrick Stewart in it. Like,
you knew what they were trying to
I was
convey.
about to say that's the one where they kill off Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, and then
Sean Bean lives.
No, he dies at the end.
Does he die in the end?
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
fuck.
it does, yeah.
Because I was about to say that, because like, geez, if he stayed living through the entire game, there's something wrong there.
But like, you come off Oblivion, which has the best, like, I said this in my best games list, the Dark Brotherhood quest line in
great.
Oblivion is fucking phenomenal. I was so excited to get Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim. I went out and immediately killed my first farmer thinking that the same rules would apply. They didn't. That farmer just stayed dead. Anyway, I then went on to Windhelm and heard people saying, oh, I was trying to summon the Dark Brotherhood. Probably should follow that quest line.
Yeah.
Went in, kid was like, oh, you finally came, go kill this person. No spoilers, kill the person. And then get recruited into the Dark Brotherhood, and they are just a fucking shell of their former selves. Really depressed.
They're a fucking rabble.
Yeah, quite literally, like, the 5 tenets that they drilled into you in every previous game have been long abandoned because they weren't profitable. What? But this isn't the Dark Brotherhood.
Dark Brotherhood Inc.
The Thieves Guild weren't that much better.
Yeah, they were so much fucking worse. Like, every guild in it, you're intended to fix the guild and become the new master. In the original, like in Oblivion, not the original, in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, you're coming into functioning guilds that had end of the world threats thrust on them. And because you were the chosen hero of the time, you were able to push them back and then become the master through that.
Yeah.
This one here is just like, you can barely do a healing spell, which you got at the start so we can make sure you could do this quest. Come on in. Take a few classes. Go through a few dungeons. Do the same 3 dungeon crawls that we have for every other campaign mission.
Every draw.
And now you are the Archmage of the Arcane University, the most powerful wizard we have. I can barely cast level 1 destruction. What the fuck are you doing giving me these wizard robes?
I fucking farted at that Draugr.
that Draugr, I fucking hid in the shadow, shot him in the eye. All of his mates couldn't find me, so he gave up and sat down in his chair again. Rinsed and repeated 20 times because I'm so underleveled. And now I'm the king of this fucking land? What the fuck is going on here?
I think what makes it even funnier is that Skyrim has been recycled so much. It is one of those ones where it's a game that has been put on such a pedestal for like unnecessarily. Like I enjoyed Skyrim when I played it, but
Skyrim
I never played Oblivion.
survives because it's been modded.
Yes, that's very
and
true.
that's another
Yes.
point that made this go into my list.
Yeah.
The Creation Club existence.
And having to pay for it.
Yes, paying for paid mods.
Oh,
It's just like the most Bethesda scummy thing they could do. And we'll talk more on that later.
that's down there with horse armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough said about Skyrim.
Do you think can we put Todd Howard on this list?
No,
Just
don't worry,
genuinely.
don't worry. With all the levels I've got on this, he's on the list.
Well, this is very appropriate because this is another game with a very infamous creator. And it's also, I'm willing to bet, it's probably the only game that features on both my top 100 and my worst 50. It is, it's incredible to say this, but it is Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy.
So, how is it on your top 100 and not at level 50?
Here's the thing, right? Fahrenheit. Like, do you know what?
The scale makes no sense.
Wait, wait.
I'm going to separate it into
I was about to
bits.
say, this is the second half of the game.
This is the second half of the game.
You put
The
it
first-
the second half
So
of the game.
what I've done instead is I'm going to put a semicolon between Fahrenheit and Indigo Prophecy because the first half Fahrenheit.
the Indigo Prophecy.
Yeah, it's the Indigo Prophecy I don't like. Yeah, like the Fahrenheit, the first part is a fucking tense thriller detective game, and you play again. It's such a good concept, and this is the thing with David Cage, right? He's a scumbag. He's a prick. I don't like him. However, his game studios come up with some excellent concepts.
Was Fahrenheit, David Cage.
That's Quantic Dream. That's their second ever game.
David Cage.
David Cage.
He wasn't involved. He was
involved in this one, yes.
Yeah, but not like in a huge capacity.
Not in a human way.
You, sir, are thinking of the first game, Omicron.
That's what it was.
When he was the executive producer.
Yeah,
of that game.
they were just basically they didn't let him near anything.
Yes.
That was a smart decision.
Yeah.
So this is where he actually gets his hand on. Again, the concept is really, really good, but for the first half, because you're basically playing a murder mystery from both sides. You have a choice when you're controlling as the cops to favor them, or you can favor the suspect, who we know didn't do it. There's some weird occult shit going on here. And here's the thing, and again I said this during the top 100, if you kept it at that level, at that base level for the entire game, and kept it there, it would have been a brilliant, tense thriller game. But what they did instead was they basically took the plot and basically made it an exponential growth, where your main character, Lucas Kane, essentially becomes the one. It's for all intents and purposes. But not
Jet Li's the one, or the one from the Matrix?
Well, both, to be honest, because I mean, they both kind of like basically both premises end up going that way. But like, so that's the Fahrenheit part, where like again, this is all the really exciting, interesting bits, and then we go to the Indigo Prophecy part, where again we have Lucas Kane, like suddenly finding himself in a Mayan jungle, being chased by an oracle, and he goes, "Oh, you have the chroma." And even in this, I'm going, "What the fuck is the chroma?" So it's like
color.
You know what? It was like a social experiment to see, can you hide the plot from a video game?
Can you hide the plot so deep in the game that the players can't find it?
Yeah, and can't understand what they're doing. They're just pressing buttons now and playing it to its conclusion, and that's essentially what they did. You know, like because everything was above board up to a certain point, and I'd say in the middle at the end of the first act, like you're at that stage, but then there's a watershed moment in the game where again you see this Lucas Kane character, like, you know, he's starting to get faster, he's picking up these martial arts and all this sort of stuff, and you're thinking, okay, this is interesting.
It's whooping ass.
But you could always make the argument that he has genuinely lost his mind. You know, you can feasibly say he's lost his mind. He thinks he is a fucking Shaolin master, and eventually the rug will be pulled underneath him, and you realise he's a serial killer. That's the way I would have done it. That's the way a normal person would have written that. David Cage, however, is not normal. He is an arsehole, and arseholes write differently. So what he did was he did it completely above board, where yes, he has literally been activated. He is this ancient magic that he was exposed to as a child has activated in him, and now he is literally going to vault over onto a train. It's a 30-foot jump, and it is literally that jump is the watershed of the game. You go, okay, no, I'm done.
I think we said this in
we said this at the time.
The top 100. There's the point with the old woman. And I remember reading a walkthrough of the game, and at the point the walkthrough actually had if you value your sanity, you will stop the game at this point, quit and uninstall it, and just make up whatever ending you want.
Yeah.
Because past here it goes fucking crazy, because the old woman you've been talking to the entire time, the blind old woman who seems to see prophecies and sits in a room surrounded entirely by about 1 million bird cages.
Yeah.
Is actually not a woman at all.
She's a virtual construct.
She's a virtual AI construct.
Yeah.
And then turns into something into a character out of Rez.
Yeah.
How meta.
Yeah. So like he turns into that. You have this like.
Stop coming.
Yeah. So you have this talk about fucking. You have this talk about orange clans and indigo clans and all that stuff.
Obviously, this is alluding back to his previous work.
Oh my god, that's so terrible.
But it's even stuff like the fucking it's like the female detective ends up being the love interest. Like once you get to
do you want to fuck a female detective? Come on, Jonathan, get with it.
But here's the thing, you see, right? I hate when they turn the main character of her own story into the love interest of the other. That annoys the fuck out of me. Now granted, it has been well documented that David Cage is a misogynist. It's also been well documented that David Cage is a racist. Because there's a black detective in this game, and all he does is speak jive, listen to fucking R&B, and play basketball.
Does he eat watermelon and fried chicken?
Gee, thank fuck no.
Then he's not a racist.
But that's probably because they couldn't render the fucking things in. You know, but like it's so the second half just stinks so much. It's just a shame the first half is so good. You do have to actually play to that point to experience it. And as Neil says, just park it at the stage where he flips over a police officer, and that's it. That's it, done. Like again, I would do it so that where like he's activated, I kill him off at that point and let the detectives take over from there and see where the story does end. Maybe there is some occult shit going on. Who's activating these people to be serial killers? That's a more interesting plot rather than having fucking magic. Just magic. Alien magic. You know?
Yeah, we'll be coming back to alien magic later.
Okay.
Right. So that's that helpful.
Yes.
Helpful ending. My one is we're going to the Wii, baby.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's Far Cry Vengeance on the Wii. Which
This is the remake of Far Cry, isn't it?
It was an attempt at a remake.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
No, they failed. They failed hard. It's holy shit. This game is a mess. It's an absolute total mess. So there's no real cutscenes in the whole thing, so you don't actually know what's going on at any point. The console can't render the island or the world.
That's kind of a bad song.
We can't render what you're walking on.
Yeah.
So here's a still image of it.
So
Try
and
your
also
best.
Here's a picture.
running through as the monster mode is just unbelievably shit and terrible. It's just terrible. Like doors that may or may not open.
But are they meant to open?
It's a random chance.
Yeah, depending on whether or not the script, how broken the script is at any point. Meaning that you may not or may not be able to finish the game. So that's just like that whole. I love that whole random chance shit. It's so fucking bad. Like the Wii was suffered from a huge amount of like really terrible ports because
it's a completely different system.
it's a totally different system. It's quite underpowered compared to the other ones, but it was drastically more popular than the rest. So people were like, "Oh, we get a game onto the Wii."
You're guaranteed at least 20,000 units.
Yeah, you've got a far larger kind of market share of the stuff, and then actual people like were like, "Holy shit!" I think maybe the kind of porting onto the Wii, kind of like that's where lots of companies got like basically there are companies that sell all they do is port.
Just to port.
Yeah.
They just port fucking things, and they were all terrible at it. They were all so bad. They're so fucking bad.
We'll put a pin on that for later.
That's it. This was absolute garbage. Like it was such a fucking bad port, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is terrible. This is so bad." It's like you just go and take a look at it on YouTube, and you're like, "This is actually a game. People release this for money. Like I spent money on this. I'm not happy."
Nor should you be, to be fair.
But you can ride in a boat.
Yeah, but.
The original Far Cry wasn't that great shakes either because it had so many critical flaws in the gameplay, but
it was good. Like when it worked, it was very good.
That's the key word.
I really liked it, the first Far Cry. The second one, this one was terrible. This one was awful. I was like, oh great! I don't have to fucking go onto my PC to play Far Cry. I can just play an alternate version on my Wii. And I was like, no, I can't because this is terrible. One of the ones was like you have to kind of jerk the Wiimote forward to zoom in on the scope.
Oh no,
that's awful.
How did anybody think that was a good idea?
Oh.
Like you literally have the stick.
That's what it's there for. That's what the stick is there for.
That's not even how a sniper. You don't just throw your sniper.
Let me just move the scope further up.
Oh, it was terrible. It was so awful. Like
let's look closely here.
The controls were half.
just get right up to the enemy, run up to him. Now I can see you.
Oh god, that's awful. That's terrible.
So bad, man. It was absolutely like I'm talking like sub GoldenEye level graphics. And
because I recall it was because they released Vengeance on the PS3 and it was fine, but just it's a combination of having to downgrade the graphics on a game that inherently has such massive open spaces sometimes with the Wii. Let's face it. Is not a game for shooters unless it's programmed as a rail shooter.
Oh no, you can do it.
And look, I will argue that the Resident Evil 4 port.
That's what I'm saying. That's a okay. Good point, actually. Yeah,
that's
fair.
Like one of the definitive ways to play it.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fair point. Yeah, absolutely.
Like if it's done properly.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. That's the difference. If it's done properly. Exactly. Okay then. So with that then, Adam, we are on to 47s.
No, we're not because I just realised I didn't say anything nice about Skyrim. The music is pretty good.
Okay,
moving on.
Music is great, to be fair. Great music.
47. You're not going to like me for this.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. Only because I haven't played the Phantom Pain.
No, I'm okay with that. No, honestly, God, I accept that. Because it is just a glorified demo.
Now, this game here actually encouraged me not to play the Phantom Pain.
Okay. Go
So,
on.
I enjoyed the stealth sections in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the, the items, the gadgets.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great Metal Gear game by any means.
No, I think that's a fair point.
It's very tedious, and it's like, 5 missions in total?
Not even, it's just one.
No.
It's just one, it's all different
5
object,
little
like, mini
side
games.
missions.
Yeah.
That, you spent... Well, they had the audacity of charging fucking €40 for
That
this.
was the worst part about that, in fairness. And it was basically justification for, like, this will make the Phantom Pain better. And I was like, oh no,
And
don't say that.
I was already sullied to it. Like, we were talking about
Yeah.
fucking egomaniacs with fucking up their own games for no reason. Why the fuck did you need Kiefer Sutherland when you had David Hayter? Yeah.
Well, see, I get what he was trying to do.
Oh, no.
I do, because it is, I know it is, but see, no.
I know exactly what he was going to do.
Yeah.
I want to be friends with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that too is just like see, this is where the flaw in the whole thing is. Where like I get what he's trying to do for the main game, the Phantom Pain, because the character.
I know, but he was Big Boss.
He was Big Boss. I know.
And
that, yeah.
we never would have known that he was Kiefer Sutherland. It wouldn't have fucking mattered.
Exactly what mattered. Yeah, it's just like I think it was just to actually get the shock awe of like Kiefer Sutherland's in this game, and it is actually acting it out and all that. But even by what the premise was and what the point of the whole change was, you could have just had David Hayter doing that job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially for the end of Phantom Pain overall, you still could have had David Hayter doing the job. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was a shock part.
Should have
had it. Yeah. Sure.
Chico and Paz inclusion in the game completely ruined their characters, completely ruined the whole fucking point of them being in Peace Walker.
Which was the point of the Ground Zero. It's like, oh, it's dark and edgy and all this sort of stuff.
And we're shitting on your childhood.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, yeah. What like?
Well, not your childhood. We're shitting on the past games that you've come to enjoy.
Yes.
Wasn't that the one where like there was like a side mission where you had to go around erasing the logos of the previous?
Yeah.
That was
And that tells you which ones are canon or not.
Yeah, that was the PlayStation exclusive one where you basically are playing as Solid Snake instead. You have to kind of blocking on.
And the fucking ego trip, that mission where you have to escort Kojima to the
Yeah.
thing. It's the only one that I didn't fucking platinum star.
Yeah.
Because it's just like so tedious.
That's a sign of
and
how
he
much
does
he hates
such
that,
a
by the way,
fucking
yeah.
stupid thing in it.
Yeah.
It's like there's that one point where he's surrounded by 3 guards and you have to fucking pitch perfectly time your sniper shots on each of them. And it's like, you have to do this non-lethal to platinum. Why the fuck are you driving through an ambush, Kojima? Kill yourself before you make the next game.
He did not, by the way.
He did not.
No.
And I don't actually condone that. I love Kojima games.
Yeah.
But
This is just a bad
I
one.
haven't played one since Ground Zeroes because he's really fucking lost touch with what it means to make a game.
Again, it's one of those ones where like I can't with that
You should
one.
play Death Stranding.
I did not, but I was considering doing it for this list.
Yeah.
Having not played it, I knew I'd already.
I played Death Stranding. It's meh.
I will.
It's all I can say is meh.
Like,
I don't find it good. I don't find it bad.
I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
Like I like with the Phantom Pain, I'll get around to it on this channel.
Yeah, exactly.
In 10 years.
In 10 years' time, exactly. Yeah. We'll somehow stretch out the Peace Walker playthrough for like 2
Anyway,
years
look,
long or something.
I'll watch your review on Death Stranding 2 and that'll be enough.
Oh my god, no.
I don't think Neil's going there again.
No.
So what did I say positive about it? I like the gadgets. I like the sneaking.
Yeah, there you go.
And it did look good.
It does look good. It does. It is a step up, and it uses like
The Fox engine.
it's one of those things where actually it naturally uses lighting. Is what I'd say. It's like if you are genuinely that I remember like playing it and like I hit myself. I knew I was fucked because there was guards coming this way, and they would see me. However, I was in that one little bit of shadow, and it's like, oh, they actually missed it completely.
Yeah.
Awesome. That shouldn't have worked, but it did.
And here's the things, like my top 4 games in this have been like 4 of my favorite game series.
Yeah, but that shows you like how you formed it to the list.
How I'm approaching this. Yeah.
Okay, so my number 47, in the same spirit as my number 49, is a Flash game.
Fucking hell.
Okay, no, well, in fairness, this is the end very shortly after this, I can assure you. So this is an odd one. Now this is technically a trilogy because they're all very short, and I've lumped them all into one. This is what's called the Trapped series. So the 3 titles I believe are called.
Oh, is this kind of like the Red Rooms, like the Trapped in the Room?
No, it's not them. It's not them. I didn't count them because like they're just too shit to count. But some of them are okay, and again, they're a subsection of Flash games in their own right, and they became a bit of a kind of
became a thing.
genre unto themselves, the escape room ones.
Yeah.
So Trapped, this one is like so
I think the first game is called Trapped. The second game is called Escape. And I can't remember the actual culmination to the trilogy. It'll appear in the edit.
Retrapped.
I don't know. But basically, the trilogy of games are made by a crowd called Godly Nations.
What does that mean?
They were a Christian game studio.
Ah.
So what they'd done was they basically formed. I think the whole premise with Trapped was that it was meant to be a game jam to basically try and form a game between two characters, and one of them was called Dan McNeely. Again, I'll look it up in the edit, but I'm really sure he's a big deal with Newgrounds. And basically the whole joke was form a game around we have to rescue Dan McNeely. That's all it was. And the first game had a genuinely good twist where you actually were the villain of the whole piece, because you were playing as the McNeely character, and you would basically drugged yourself to make yourself the hostage, where you had actually done the whole thing yourself. It was the perfect cover, blah blah blah. And then when you were it was Trapped, Escape, and Pursuit. That's what it was. Or
so is
Pursuit
is the whole series the one you're going with here?
This is the whole series, yeah. I will go with probably Escape as the actual pick here, because that's the culmination to the plot. Pursuit is the second game where they introduce the new character, and she kind of picks up the back.
Sexy femme fatale?
No, she's not kind of like the Nico Pollard type, like an investigative journalist deal, but has a boy, like a fiance, Mikey.
Everybody hated that.
And they're both very religious. Is the thing. This is where the thing was like, this would have been a perfectly good set of Flash games if they just left Jesus out of it, but they couldn't. This was the whole.
Jesus is in all things, Jonathan, except this.
Yeah, exactly. This is a godless list. But the thing is, like, again, their mission statement has been to try and introduce some sort of like Christian parable into their, like a Christian theme into each of their games. And I played some of them, and again, the games themselves are functioning really, really good. If they just stop hammering home the fucking Jesus part, it'd be great.
That's the whole point.
But exactly, that's the whole point. It's like, but again, you guys could be better than this. Just leave Jesus alone, right? Even he doesn't want to be involved.
Jesus alone. Hasn't he suffered enough for our sins?
You know, and again, there's a guy on the that like did the voice acting rounds at this time. There's a fellow called Edwin Tiong. He's now an actual voice actor. He's done really well for himself, but he has a very distinctive, deep voice.
Oh, so he's a paedophile.
No. but he obviously did the rounds here, and every game he appeared in, he fucking nails it. And like he's the guy that kind of rescues the series from being really, really bad, because he properly leans into the fucking Bond villain-esque quality the character ends up having. And again, the puzzles are fine. There's one really annoying bit, but it's just a Christian fucking message. It's the psalm here, it's the Bible quote here, and the overall theme of whatever they were going for. It's like, just give it a rest. Just get some help. Okay?
I'd like to explain my previous joke, by the way. The paedophile joke is only because Funimation voice actors have been caught being awful people. I just wanted that on the record.
Yeah, we should clarify. Yes, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Maybe he isn't. I'll prove that back in the edit. So yeah, the Trapped series
just flashes up. Actually, Adam was right. Oh no.
Redacted. So yeah, Trapped, or rather the Escape game of the Trapped series, is my pick for number 47. Neil, we come to you then for number 47.
My number 47 is first in the one of, I think I have 2 or 3 of these games on my list. The Walking Dead games. This is The Walking Dead. This is Survival Instinct.
Oh yes.
This is the one where you play as
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus, yeah. He doesn't have a character name.
No, it's just Norman Reedus. Daryl.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It's a functional game at only the most basic level.
Yeah.
So it's not really actually even a game. It is a game. It's kind of a game. It's basically a bunch of half-baked mechanics slapped together with super glue, held together by nothing but the will of the programmer.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Way too many zombies.
Oh, it's terrible.
Way too many
and you
zombies.
sweat.
Yes, it's always wet. That it even works is actually some kind of a miracle. So basically, it's just a cash grab.
Yeah.
It was dropped at the height of the series fame. It's got a story that's super thin. Like, it's so fucking ridiculous.
It's not even a story, lad, to be fair. It's just point A to point B.
Yeah.
What happens?
And even then, like, the point A to
Oh,
point B
we found a survivor. He gives us points at the end of the mission.
That's it, yeah.
It's absolutely terrible. The graphics were dated 10 years before that. This is another game that was released.
It did look a bit like a PS2 game, didn't it?
It
like,
really did.
Yeah,
Like, it was
really,
so terrible.
really,
Actually,
like,
not even. I would go back further than that.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was really, really, really fucking bad. And it was brilliant because the whole game is kind of built up on this kind of like survival mechanics, you know, scavenging, bit of stealth, even though the stealth didn't work well. You know, the scavenging didn't work well. The combat didn't really work well.
The zombie AI didn't work well.
Nothing really worked well. And then the very final mission, they give you unlimited ammunition to mow down an endless wave of zombies until you're rescued. And I was like, oh my god, what a fucking tone deaf ending. It's awful.
What a tone deaf ending. The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Well, what a bad ending for the very concept of the series. You're scavengers.
Mm-hmm.
You should have infinite anything.
Yeah.
No, you haven't seen the ending of the series.
Yeah, I don't fucking want to after that.
And
Clearly.
it's the poor ending of, like, I was like, have these people even seen the show or played any other kind of
read
survival
the comic or played any other media?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally the whole concept of this game is, zombies, cool.
Let's have more of them.
But, however, this is the first game on my list that I do have something positive to say about.
Oh shit, we got there.
It's really fucking short.
It is actually. Fucker, that is the. When we get down the list, that is what I say about a lot of other games.
It is, to be fair, actually.
He got there before me.
Yeah, it is really fucking short. Like, you could hockey this sucker out in about 5 hours.
Yeah. Now, Jordan, my brother, has actually he's actually gotten all achievements for it on the Xbox 360.
Nah, poor motherfucker.
Yeah.
Why?
He was achievement hunting at the time. He was in school, had nothing better to do.
Jesus.
I thought you raised him better, man.
No, I slapped him.
Hard.
And it didn't make any difference.
No. If anything, he just turned him onto worse video games.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
So that's what happens when the training doesn't work.
Don't abuse bad children, people. It just makes them stick in their ways.
Exactly.
Well, that's a cautionary lesson, isn't it? Really, from this.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe we'll hear from Jordan later on in the series. You never know.
Yeah, if he's still talking to me.
But that's it. Yep. That's my 40. What is it?
47.
That's my 47. Survival. The Walking Dead Survival Instinct.
Yeah.
Very well.
That's a pretty good 47. 46 now. There are worse games in this series.
Okay.
I haven't played them.
Okay.
There are much better games in this series. I love them.
I thought you were to say I also have.
He's going to say Dead or Alive again because we've been here down this road before.
Yeah. No, I'm not alluding. I'm not alluding to.
There have been better games and worse games. There have been better tits. I have not seen them.
I have not seen them. No. What I'm talking about here is a game that steps outside of its genre.
Ooh, okay.
But doesn't do it well. So this is Silent Hill Homecoming.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Arguably the only good Silent Hill game outside of the main three. But that's only because the gameplay is pretty good enough.
I really liked most of the Silent. I loved Shattered Memories. I thought Shattered Memories was really fucking good. I've got that in the Wii. I thought that was very fucking good.
Okay.
And also
Again, I haven't played them, so I can't comment on them.
the room.
Yeah, that's
4.
number 4, isn't it?
4, yeah. But again, I can't comment on them. I haven't played anything outside the first 3.
Have you not?
No.
You've not played the room?
No.
Man, that's what you gotta play.
Okay.
But Homecoming is garbage, yeah.
In fairness, I've only got
It's
2
actually
ones,
a pretty good action game. Like, the mechanics in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
But it's not a Silent Hill game. Yeah. So the point that I wanted to put a pin in was the battery mix.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mention Silent Hill, where they managed to find a pre-build of the source code, but they didn't think to pull in the fog, so they just rendered out to it rather than using the machine's capacity.
And isn't there another one on the way now at time of recording? So that's
I hope
the reboot, the actual
reboot. Yeah, the rebooting.
reboot of it. Yeah. So we'll see how well that goes.
Oh no, that'll be based off that. Remember that PT demo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It'll be based.
Well,
off
look,
the
they can't go wrong with that.
Look,
the base ones are there. So
I would argue Homecoming has one of the best Silent Hill soundtracks.
is that the one that's on the PSP? Am I thinking of another
No,
one?
it's Xbox and PS3.
Ah, okay, I'm thinking the wrong one then.
It was actually really fun to play. Great soundtrack. The story wasn't bad.
Funnily enough, it's the only soundtrack you can't actually buy separately.
Yeah.
Oh.
All the rest, even actually the first 4, actually have had their soundtracks put out on vinyl.
Wow.
Of all things.
All right.
I have 1 and 2.
Yeah, so, when I was studying it for my PhD, I used to just slap on the Homecoming soundtrack.
Jesus.
And it's not to remember the game, but because it's actually a banging soundtrack.
Fair.
Monster design, it's no Silent Hill 1, 2, or 3.
No.
Which is ironic because you do fight some of the monsters from 1, 2, and 3.
But yeah, I quite liked it because the monsters are meant to be sort of like tortured figment of the person's imagination.
Yeah.
So
Well, they are set monsters that skin themselves to look like something that would like interact with your own psyche.
yeah, that's
So like the yellow god is Pyramid Head. It's the monster that's crawling around the walls. It's an aborted fetus.
yeah, it's the nurses that he projected his sexual kind of fucking frustration onto.
Yeah.
That's
It's,
what
it's
it
the
faces.
little teddy bears that were sensors
Yeah.
of the fucking homunculi children that you didn't want to have.
And the thing is that I think he's a marine in that, isn't
Yeah.
he?
Well,
So he's,
is he? Is the thing is like because Shattered fucking or Homecoming and
yeah.
he doesn't know who he is, and he keeps. That's one thing about it is the story is. It's a Silent Hill game. You expect it to be convoluted.
It's an
But
unreliable
he keeps
narrator
getting,
as
he keeps
well.
getting flashbacks to things like, "You're an awful son. I hope you die." And it's like, "Ah, yes, my dog tags from when I went and fought in that war that my dad was really proud of me for. You're a terrible son. Kill yourself." It's like that. It doesn't make sense. Like,
my point is like it's coming monsters from the psyche of a soldier who clearly is PTSD. You could have so much with that. I
Yeah.
can imagine loads of artists going, "Oh yeah, I can make some torture."
You just have to mention the Vietnam War and you're
I
there.
can mention some twisted shit here, you know.
oh, yeah. But then it's all about him looking for his younger brother,
Mm.
which I'm not gonna. Well, fuck it. I will spoil it.
You will spoil it, yeah.
I will spoil it. It's a shit fucking story. You were meant to be the family sacrifice to the town of Silent Hill,
Yeah.
so that the gods, the recurring theme of the blood god who needs a sacrifice, would continue to benefit your family. So they always treated you like shit because they didn't want to get attached to you. But then they had a younger sibling from you that they raised as their actual son, who you then were responsible for the death of. And so he was taken as the sacrifice, and so that's your trauma. And then you have your dad's dog tags.
Yeah.
And you think you were a soldier because that's your own trauma, but you actually weren't. You were just some fucking psycho horde that your parents sent you off to because they couldn't bear losing another child after that. And yeah, it's a deep dive into your psyche. It has all the gag endings, the alien ending, the Shih Tzu ending.
the Shiba Inu
Yeah,
ending.
Shiba.
But the thing is, like, he was a soldier, so that's why like they sharpened up the combat mechanics.
Yeah.
Because he can.
But it turns out he wasn't.
Yeah, but that's my point. I was like, hang on, because you can actually fight in it. Because the mechanics in it are much better. The combat mechanics in it are much better.
Yes,
It's an
it's
action
purely
game.
down to fighting. Yeah.
And it's really shit. I was like, no, this isn't a Silent Hill game. This is terrible.
It's not a Silent Hill game, but it's actually a pretty good like combat horror game if it wasn't Silent Hill.
Is it another one of your? If it wasn't in the series, this would actually be kind of decent.
Yes, a little bit. Yes,
A little bit, yes.
Now, look, again, I've said a lot of good things about this game, which is kind of the antithesis to this list, but at the same time, it is really bad for a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, it's terrible. Silent Hill game made by people who've not played any Silent Hill game.
Yeah, I kind of missed the whole mission statement of Silent
Yeah.
Hill. Yeah.
And in fact, I don't think anyone on the committee that made the game
Yeah.
had ever seen a Silent Hill game.
No, and nor will they begin.
They heard something about a town called Silent Hill, fog and monsters. That's all we need
That's
to go on.
That's all we need to know.
And
That's
the
it.
sacrifice that's showing something like that.
Anyway, that's my 46.
Very good. Okay, so let's move on to my 46 then, and this is a sandbox game.
No.
It's a GTA clone.
No.
It tries to do a hodgepodge of gameplay, tries to be a master of all trades, and it is not even that, it's a fucking two of clubs of all trades. It is True Crime Streets of LA.
I knew it.
It was gonna happen. It was gonna happen. It's something we played this on the channel. It's part of the Sandbox Jukebox series. It tries so desperately hard to be Grand Theft Auto. Much like every other sandbox game, GTA clone of its time, it just kind of misses the point of GTA.
But you get procedurally generated license plates at the end of every cutscene.
Oh wow! What an incentive. So
That's one thing that should stay
yeah.
consistent.
So the one.
Is that the good thing about the game?
No, it's not. No. The good thing about the game is that it has Christopher Walken in it, and he is taking the fucking piss from minute one. So
Well,
it has.
Walken has prior in that.
He does, and this will be the last mention of Walken on this video. But oh shit! Oh, he lost his pen.
No, it's fine.
Nice and hot.
Carry on.
Nice and hot. So True Crime Streets of LA. One thing I'd say about a lot of the GTA clones out there, because there are a lot, is that they all take the GTA formula, and they say, okay, what different thing can we do with the game? So you have let's say if I use Driver for instance. Driver has always been its own beast in a sense.
Driver has always been a particular favourite of yours as well.
It has. So I'll use them.
Some of them.
Well, some of them, yeah. But the driver has always been a car chase simulator. Essentially, it's been an ode to the French Connection and Bullets. So with GTA coming around and kind of being actual, as it were, a crime game, let's say. Obviously everything has to go around it. So the true crime's kind of like premise to Twisted is that you're actually the cop. You are actually the good guy in this situation, but you're a renegade cop. You don't play by the rules because, again, to be the protagonist of a GTA clone while also being a cop, you kind of have to do that. That's the way you would have done it. You know, if GTA ever had an actual policeman as the main character, this is the way they would write it. That's the initial premise. The other thing that true crime apparently, the baton that GTA drops that apparently true crime picks up is the martial arts combat. And it's bad.
Shit, that was.
It's bad. And again, the other thing is it's always trying to compare itself to this.
Press that.
Yeah. So like
that's a wise thing. That's just your body naturally protecting.
Because when you said it's like but box game and then the martial art, I can't help but think about like Sleeping Dogs.
See, Sleeping Dogs is that premise done better. It's done right.
It's
done exceptionally well. It is a very. This is what the game.
This isn't kung fu.
Yeah. See, Sleeping Dogs is a game true crime.
Yakuza.
Yeah. Sleeping Dogs and the Yakuza games, again, good example there. That's the game that true crime wanted to be.
Yeah.
But it couldn't. Whether it was because it was a PS2, the game engine just was not capable of it. It just physically wasn't.
The thing that got me is that they didn't use any true crime in their game.
There was no true crime.
The amount of crime in LA that, like, famous crimes that you could have based a game around would have been phenomenal.
Like, it has.
You don't have to make up Chinatown having fucking dragon demons underneath it.
Exactly, yeah.
Fucking the bad guy from fucking what's that? Oh, what is that? The Chinatown movie.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Big Trouble in
Little China. Yeah. That's what the game ended up being. Was just that, right?
Jesus
And the thing is, like, again, each game basically came in 4 different flavors. It was either a chase, a shootout, a fight scene, or a stealth scene. The chase scenes, not a problem. They're fine, except for the AI traffic being awful. The shooting scenes, perfectly fine. That was the bedrock. It kind of took the Max Payne style of shooting. Not a problem. The martial arts was good. Do you know what? It wasn't actually that bad. Except there was some means, as you mentioned, the Dragon Demon thing, that was way too fucking long and way too unnecessary. Has nothing to do with the plot. It was just a cool thing that was in the game. The stealth section.
Cool. They built the asset. Some intern built the asset and said, "Okay, we'll put it in." Fine.
But yeah, when I say cool, is that they think it's cool, right? Cute. And then the stealth sections, however, oh my fucking lord! There's a few of them. They're few and far between, but my god, they're terrible. There's one in particular in like an S&M club that you have to go through, and basically even the sound of leather.
Are you sure it was an M&S club?
Well, to be fair, there's some nice pastries there, but
snaking your way around.
Snaking away, yeah.
Load of option hot dogs.
Yeah. But like there's a fucking dominatrix in every alcove. You know, which
I mean, like, that's just a good S&M club.
It is a good S&M club. It doesn't
just judging from the last 3 or 4 I've been to.
It's a good club, but it makes for a very bad stealth level. Because there's blind spots, there's like pathings, there's like all this sort of stuff, and it's awful. Especially considering with like some of the walls that are there, you can just walk through, and don't get detected. So like it was very badly made, and it's one of those games where like if you just don't do anything, the game kind of has an anxiety attack. Like if you just park up and sit there and just watch the traffic move around, it just manifests something. It's just like there is a car crash, there's a fight that happens. It's like the game doesn't want you to notice how empty it is, so it has to give you something to do, which is I find hilarious because like that's
ironically in real life, if you just park up and stare at the traffic, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. But like it's the fact that like it just because the AI is too weak to be able to just go like, oh, I'll be politely just turn around and do this. No, it has to go off. Oh, what's the big deal, guy? And gives you gameplay. Whereas, but that's
your action. Your miming in that was so unnecessary.
Especially since this is audio only. Yeah, exactly. But
I think people got it.
I think you kind
of they had to know that was genuine.
Yeah,
he nailed it.
Thank you. I've worked a lot on it. But even then, what kind of saves it again? The positive point is the voice acting. They have genuinely good actors on board, and they do not take it seriously from day one, including Christopher Walken, who's the narrator of the series, and he sounds like fucking goofy. Like it's trying to be like a no nonsense like.
There's no reason for him to be there.
There's no reason. It's because they could get him. That's all. They could get him.
That was it. Get Christopher Walken. He never turns down a role. Famously.
Yes.
We could get Christopher Walken.
If you're around Christy,
Tell us what your rate is. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we can put the whole budget behind if you want to. We can make Ripper 2, you never know. Right, so Neil, number 46 for you.
Number 46 is a game that we've actually already mentioned. It's a Kojima game.
Oh.
It's Death Stranding.
Hey! I'll be honest with you. I thought you were going to put this higher.
No, well... See,
or lower. Can we get the terminology right for this?
Yeah, no.
Lower?
I've actually
Lower
got
is
that,
worse.
I've
Lower
actually,
is worse? Okay.
I've actually got that written like 4 times.
I thought this would be lower.
I've got higher in brackets or lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Death Stranding. Death Stranding was like it was a chronically overhyped meh.
Yeah, it's a victim of its own
It
hype.
was a chronically overhyped weapon you use against the enemies.
But
Yeah.
it's so bad. Like the thing about it is that like there's a core of a really good idea at it.
Yes.
So
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, we all love Mailman Simulator. Like Fallout New Vegas is my favorite
But
one.
it's a game. It's a sandbox game where you're essentially constructive. It's like Kojima went with Minecraft and said, "What happens if I put Norman Reedus into Minecraft?" That's
What
essentially
excuse
what
can I have to still hang out with Norman Reedus after being fired from Konami?
Pretty much, yeah.
and Guillermo del Toro and
Nicholas,
even though
Refn.
even though I don't have his voice on anything.
Nicholas
He's
Winding Refn.
Yeah, or loads of other like really famous directors that I quite like and actresses that I'm probably almost attracted to, making me kind of like an Asian Quentin Tarantino.
If you notice, he definitely has
an Asian Quentin.
He has a type.
Definitely.
Blondes.
But like
explain quiet.
my
The Stephanie Houston blonde.
Oh.
Yeah. The original actress is actually blonde. It's just quite as they just had dark hair instead.
yeah.
I'm
the
not saying-
actress,
I feel shame.
There you go.
Leia Seydoux.
Leia Seydoux, Lindsay Wagner,
Yeah.
and then the next game is
They got her in there twice.
twice, two
Spoiler.
different characters, and in the next game it is Ella Fanning,
Jesus Christ.
and Hunter Schafer is in the other project as well.
Yeah.
So
He just
fucking
really doesn't like voice actors, is what I'm hearing.
no, he wants actual actors. Like his mission.
Oh no, you got Troy Baker in for this.
Troy Baker as an actual actor.
Troy
yeah.
Baker is Higgs in it, and he's going to be in the second one.
And he's good
it's
crack,
very-
in fairness,
and it's very well. He's very good in this.
Yeah.
Because he's very obviously read the script and gone, "Oh my god, this guy has lost his fucking mind."
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ham the bollocks out of this to the
Mm.
point where, like, it's not suitable for people of a particular religious bent. Like, it's so hammed.
Yeah.
Like, it's
It's
very
not
obvious.
no,
He's
it's
just
not.
like, I'm just going nuts. But the thing is that with Death Stranding, there's a core of a very, very good sentiment and
Yes.
story at the beginning of it. And it was alluded to in the Consolvania review, was actually quite good about it, and that it was written during a time where Kojima was going through some bad shit in his life.
Yes.
I think he had a few relatives die. I think his mother died or something like that. And so the game is basically about the premise. It's a really, really massively deconstructed premise about what happens basically when life and death come together. And in this game, when dead people and live people, like dead spirits and live people come together, they explode like a fucking nuclear
It's a
bomb.
matter-antimatter equation.
Yeah, it's a matter antimatter. It's called a void out.
Yes.
In the game they do it, and it just fucking it just blows a huge crater into the game. And the thing is that your character can actually come back from death.
He's the only one that can.
He's the only one. Well, he's one of the few that can.
Yeah.
So he can come back from his beach, which is kind of like your paradise. Alright, fine. You want to base your game around that, and there is a lot of sentiment to it. The music in it's really good.
Oh, the soundtrack's so good.
So the music in it's really, really
Oh,
fucking
man.
good. But my God,
Churches, fucking.
but the game is,
so
the
good.
game is completely batshit.
Yeah.
How you progress through the whole thing, it's both simultaneously completely boring and utterly confusing. So you're connecting all these cities, but all the not cities, they're all the exact same. There's
Yeah.
nobody in any of them. They're all completely desolate wastelands. You never get past the front door in any of them. You're just dropping shit off.
Yeah.
All the people you do meet, they're all crazy. Mads Mikkelsen's character is completely inconsequential to the fucking game.
Yeah.
It makes no difference whatsoever.
He is hyped up so much in the actual preparation of the game.
He's very good in it.
Yeah, he is,
But my
yeah.
point is that
It's very little.
his character does nothing. His character is absolutely nothing. And again, he was put into the game because Hideo Kojima fucking loves Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, because he watched Hannibal and it was his favourite show for a year or two, so he moved heaven and earth to have him in his game.
That's it.
And again, the character is a very Mads Mikkelsen character.
And
He writes a character based on the actors going to
Yeah.
play them.
And
Yeah.
it's utterly crazy, like, and the amount of extra shit that they get to do, like, in everything, like, it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, all the different extra bits that you can kind of do, like, So I think there's a part where you're transporting a corpse to an incinerator.
Yes.
The bodies have to be burned unless they'll void out. And because pissing is a mechanic in this game.
Yeah, it's organic waste.
You can put the body down and try and piss on it, and it often leads scared go, seriously, what's wrong with you? Like you can do that.
But it's a mechanic. Like you make up grenades with your own waste, which again.
The gun you fire coats all the bullets in your own blood, so
yes,
it hurts the
BTs. Yeah, it's a living thing.
But it's so totally crazy, and I'm just going like, make a better game. Like don't toss in all this ancillary stuff. Put your game.
Start off with the basics. Yeah.
Make the game better. Make the game enjoyable. It's not enjoyable. It's basically just a balance simulator.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get to the part where you can construct roads, like huge amounts of roads, then the game's just it's just a cakewalk because it's just you driving and it's just a delivery simulator, and the story is half baked. It's totally undone. It's so overhyped, and like towards the end it really goes off the rails. Actually, I will fucking spoil it. The main villains, shall we say, drive is she is what's known as an extinction entity. So she will end the world, and she knows this, and she's not happy about this. So she's hired Higgs, who for some reason is in on this, and she's going to end the world now. Because she doesn't want to wait until she just wants to basically get it over with. Yeah. And that's it.
In her view, the world is demolished, it's ruined, it's irredeemable. Get rid of it now.
It's not even that.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not that the world's irredeemable. It's that she's going to end it.
She has no choice, so
she's like, I'll do it now rather than later. And Higgs is in on this. Like Troy Baker's character, he's mad into this.
He's just cracked anyway. Like he just.
No, he's not even cracked. He's not even an insane character. He's just a bit of a nutcase.
Yeah.
Like, but he's no drive. Like none of this makes sense. None of this makes any fucking sense whatsoever. This is terrible. None of these characters have any kind of decent motivations. Heartman is totally pointless.
Yeah.
Deadman.
Deadman is the kind of the Campbell of the game in a sense, where he's the guy that ends the cutscene and goes, Norman, you must go over here. I know, I keep calling Norman, I don't give a fuck. It's like, Norman, go over here and deliver this thing. And end. That's his role, is to be the sign off on each cutscene.
It's completely batshit. I just didn't get any of it. I was going like, either this is all going totally over my head, or this just isn't very well done. And it's just. And then they played Metal Gear Solid 5 afterwards. I was like, oh no, this isn't very well done.
Yeah. Like the fact that in the sense the plot is kind of is happening around you and you don't really have much of a say in it, which again I think is partly the point of it, but also partly
if that's the point of the game, then don't make that game.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, it's like there's a certain taboo in where like it's show don't tell, and this is where it's kind of like it's neither. It's just show.
It's not showing or telling. It's just
tell. It's just tell.
That's the thing, but it's a game with like all the trimming, so lots of real extra shit. Like there's a whole like system that goes through, like a social kind of media likes part that goes right through it all. Like somebody will just break out of a cutscene and just give you a thumbs up, and then you'll get 10 likes. And I'm like, why do that? Why do that? First off, that kills the immersion.
Yeah.
And secondly, there's no point to it. Like, you don't use them for anything. This is totally pointless. There's loads of like weird cameos in it, and it's very obvious that people are just desperate to get into a Kojima game.
Yeah.
You know, when you're delivering fucking hats to Conan O'Brien. You know?
A genuine mission in the game.
No, I refuse to believe that.
No,
it's not just deliver a hat. It's multiple animal hats.
Animal hats, yeah.
One of them is an otter.
Why is Conan O'Brien admitting to being a pervert?
It's an otter.
And it helps you swim.
Yeah, when you wear it, you get to paddle up the rivers like an otter.
Yes. You can be a fast swimmer because it's like rivers are like early game rivers are a pain in the hole.
Rivers are death traps, even towards the end.
Yeah.
Even right up towards the end, because when you do the landscape scan, one of the bits of the scan, it specifically tells you can walk in this part of the river without drowning. You can't walk in this bit. Big red bit. Don't go near this bit.
Yeah.
No, but if you've got a fucking otter hat on you, like a bobblehead, because it's huge.
Yes.
You can just.
Phantom Pain had a similar one with the chicken hat. If you died multiple times during a level, it gives you a chicken hat to try and get you through as basically as a humiliation, essentially.
Yeah, but like he's always had his animal.
He's always had. He's not a popular. It's a joke. It's a reoccurring joke that happens because.
But like an actual gameplay mechanic of you are the chosen hero to save the world. Why? Because I can revive from death? No, because you can put on this hat and swim up that fucking river.
Because you're an otter and everyone's proud of you.
You are the best otter.
Now hold hands with Norman Reedus so nobody will float away.
Please be friends with Kojima.
Everybody, that's probably in everybody's fucking contracts. Like, you must be friends with
you must attend one of my social gatherings where I can show you off to any random person that I happen to.
But he does that. Even his whole social feed is literally like, I've met this person today and we had lunch. It was like, he's having his best life. Like he is at the stage of his life where he's like, I'm just gonna make games and I don't care if they're good or bad because I know they're gonna sell. I'm just gonna make friends. It was like, do you know what? I admire that.
Considering his start and that he wasn't meant to make games.
Exactly. It's like he spent his whole cooking career basically being told by Konami, you can't have a life. It's like, well, fuck you. Now I have a life.
You can't have a life and stop making that game. It's costing us millions. Yes, but when it releases, it will make you millions.
It's like, okay, you've been right 4 out of 5 times.
4 out of 5.
It's like, I like those odds.
All right. We'll greenlight one more game.
And Sony now basically just give him a blank fucking checkbook. He goes, that's it. So we have Mr. Kojima. All these millions.
Mr. Kojima, you're friends with Guillermo del Toro. Can we meet him? We'd really like some of his money for our company.
Yeah. But what's even crazy, that blank check that they're giving them for Death Stranding 2, it's already completely batshit. Because I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer the other day, and it's got electric swords in it, and I'm like, why?
No, it's got a guitar sword.
It's got guitar
swords.
swords.
I saw that trailer.
Guitar swords, and I'm like, why?
And that's still Higgs.
Why the fuck does it have a fucking guitar sword? There is no need. It's closed. There's no need for it.
Sorry, you're gonna have to clarify here, right?
It's closed.
Is it because like he was flailing in the chair and there's a can of non-specified drink here, balancing on it, right? We both see it shaking, and he looks at us and goes, "It's closed." Not like, it's just in case you're wondering.
Not like this discussion is over. I'm done. My final word. It's closed.
So this discussion is over, but I'm actually not going to close something. I'm going to open it.
Nice.
There you go.
I'm just going to stop talking about it. It's turning me into a bad person.
It's making very negative.
It's turning me into somebody I don't want to be.
That's fair.
Right, chaps, that is the first part of this series done. We've just done our 50 to 46. Tune in next time, because I'm not sure whether it's going to be weeks or months. It depends on how the edit goes. Where we will be doing 45 to 41.
Get the hamster started at the editing machine.
Yeah.
He's already seen how long the first session was, and he is struggling.
Aww.
The splices alone are going to be quite concerned. But by all means, let us know in the comments what you think of our list so far, and by all means, let us know what your worst games are and what
and we'll review them and come up with ideas. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't finish my list.
Yeah, we're gonna judge you.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem because Adam's writing this on the go, which is a bit of a challenge, to be honest. But
I'm a bit challenged.
you always have to do things the hard way, don't you? Medium to hard way. That's you in a nutshell, isn't it? Anyway, in any case, we'll see you for the next round. Goodbye, everyone. Do we have an outro for this?
I think that'll do.
That'll do, pig.
And that was the worst intro. That was the worst outro ever.
Particularly if you leave this bit in.
You see, I always do that as a kind of ironic thing, and then I just suddenly cut.